Well, we are live at 11:05. Good afternoon, I'm BC. This is Spirit Cars. Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars, behind the camera. He's adjusting, he was adjusting some knobs and controls, so I don't know what that means. He holds this little contraption that has speakers on it, and it's kind of neat. Well, Josh, you said a lot of people have been asking questions about our top, our fiberglass top, and not necessarily, we haven't done a video of this yet, I don't believe. But the number one question, what is the number one question they got?
Will it fit my car if it's not a Spirit car?
And it's not a Spirit car. Well, if it's a Spirit car, it will fit. This is a car that we did about, gosh, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's a turnkey we did. And the customers brought it back to us. You can see it's got some holes here and all these little holes. It used to have a cloth top on it. And the cloth top goes on and it comes down. It's got a bracket that holds it here and everything. So we took the cloth top off. He wants to get it repainted and some ghost flames on it and some other stuff done to it. So anyway, I've got it. I'm going to show you. He wants a hard top on here. And we had this one, so I threw it on, except what's this customer's name, first name?
Rodney.
Rodney. Rodney's wanting a lot of cool stuff. It's already a nice car. He's got a blower on and everything, but he's just upgrading it and doing some things. Well, Rodney wants a window that goes up and down, so that's not going to work on here. Why don't we show this real quick? Can you come in here? We have this oval window now, and we can cut whatever shape. We've cut T's in it. We've cut, I think, Maltese crosses in it. We can cut whatever shape. But if you look at it from the side here, it's fairly flat. But you can see we've created this little bit of a lip. If you catch that from the inside, you can see it. What that does is with that lip on there, you can glue your glass to it flat. And we like to use real glass and not plexiglass, so that'll glue in there. This top is generally upholstered, and when he upholsters it, he actually upholsters and wraps it around. And the glass goes on top of that, it makes it real clean. This edge right here, you can see it slips over here, and if you look on the inside, it comes around. It actually just screws into the body in those different places. And then up under here is a piece of wood, and there's a T that comes up, bolts to this, and the T is already onto that. So if you wanted to remove your hard top, you just take the bolt loose, that would come loose, take the screws out here, the whole hard top would come off. So this is not the one we're using, but I had this one sitting here, just showed, there it is. That's how it works. Now, if you got our hard top, and we've actually made it look like it's a soft top. If it's upholstered, I mean, you can't really tell the difference. It's got the rib, it looks like it would have a rib going across here and comes out nice, and we would upholster the inside too. And you could paint it. If you paint it, you're gonna have to make sure it's all straight and cleaned up. If I turn it upside down, you can see this product here is a product, it's called Core Mat. It just stiffens it up. We use the same top for both our XLT, the extended T, and the regular T. And whether we do a soft top, if we do a soft top, something that's, I believe it's still unique to us. I don't know if anybody else does it.
Yeah, no, other companies out there still have that headboard. So now they don't sew it into the soft
so
top.
they supply headboards very similar to this one, and they give you the cloth and the materials. I'm not talking about a upholstery shop. There's some other companies that'll sell you a top. But what we do, if we were going to do, the material would be glued onto this. It would come around. It would cup up under here. This, you can see this groove here. It's a half round where it fits over your windshield. So this is actually sitting in a groove on top of the windshield up over here. And then your top goes back over it, and you screw your T-plates to it. In here, this one's a lip. This is a regular. So we trim this out a little bit, and we bed this into the fiberglass, and then glass it all in. If it's an extended, we can cut this out a little bit, move it out. If you buy the top from us, you get the headboard and you get the actual top, the fiberglass top, but it does not come together unless it's, I mean, you can specify if it's a car that we're building here or something like that. But just to make sure that, you know, the window and the angle of the windshield and everything is going to fit right in here, we leave this off and can kind of fit it to the car, and make sure that you can do that also. So the question is, will it fit my car? And the answer is probably not. But you can make it fit, not a problem. And here's how I would do it, and here's how I have done it. You can see this is a flange here. So this is sitting on top of your T, the body. And if you don't have an insert, you'll have a lip on your body, at least somewhat. And then this flange comes around. But if you're not going to use our body and this doesn't fit, and you can kind of see here, if you just look on the corner here, yeah, you can see it comes down up and over the top here, but it comes around and fits right even with the body. There's really no gap there. And what the problem is going to be is you're probably going to wind up with a gap right in there. So here's how you solve it. Cut it off right here. Just cut the whole lip smack off. Get the body fit well before you get the top fit on it. Take, in this case, we've got an insert. Even if it was painted, I wouldn't be afraid to do this. I'd just be a lot more careful. Take some 2-inch tape and mask off the top of your body. Go down around the edge a little bit and take some tape and paper and cover it all so you don't make a mess. But tape it off really well. Then take some wax. There's different types of wax. We use a green wax as a wax that doesn't actually come off. When we wax the molds, we put that on the edges of the molds. So it's not like a wax where you put it on and then wipe it off to get it slick. It's just a green wax you put on there and leave it on, and it just stays on it. But even if you don't have that, that's fine. Just put a regular wax on. If you're a fiberglass guy and you happen to have PVA, it's a plastic type product, polyvinyl acetate, I think it stands for. You spray it on and it dries, and you can actually peel it off. It looks like a piece of plastic. So you can put some PVA on it or whatever. Get your top on. Get it fitting where you want it in the front. Get your line here where you want it. And you may have to mock it up there, hold it somehow with some wood or something. Then you can go ahead and take and hand lay the fiberglass right on top of your lip. Just hand lay it on, hand lay it around the edge. If you've got an insert that you can screw to the side. If you're going to screw straight down, you don't need to go over the side, just go over the top. Just hand lay it in there, and it's going to give you a seam. It may look a little rough on the edge here because this may be higher, but you'll have a fiberglass seam that you can actually pull the body off, or the top off, and do some body work around that edge then, and then our top will fit your car. Size-wise, Josh told me to get a tape measure, so what am I measuring?
Well,
I don't think I'm telling a lie. It's not going too long.
What happens if it's too wide or too narrow? Remember, like that one car, that one that came here from the T-Bucket rally, he dropped his car off, and then Eddie had to split it.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but I still have enough brain cells to know what it takes to chop a car. A lot of people haven't chopped cars, but you have to draw and quarter it. You can always take and cut it. If it's too wide, you can cut it down the middle. It may be that you want to change just the angle instead of parallel. Change it. You can split it. You can always shorten it up that way. You can always shorten it up this way. It's going to be a little tougher if you're going to have to take some of it off. You probably want to do it off the front here, and then just use that board. Because what will happen is to get up into here and you try to cut it through here, it already naturally tapers, and you're going to have a lot of extra body work trying to make this line right. But if you just slit it down the middle here and take a wedge out, 2 inches out of it, I would take and screw it down on top of, we have a big table we use for mica, and we once in a while change that for mica out. But for mica, once you wax it, will actually make a good mold. So if I had this, say I took a wedge out like this, I sanded this, I beat it down a little bit on both sides, butted it up together the way I wanted it, clamped it down to that table flat. Now we have this shape flat on the table. I could go ahead and lay some fiberglass into that gap, and then when it dries, I would come up and I'd be flat. I'd move it to this section since it's flat. So I'd do that section again. And that's a little rounded back here, so I might tab it or put some pieces of wood on the back side, short pieces, and screw it in on both sides to hold it so you don't have one piece of fiberglass in or out farther from the other. So it's, I mean, it's a bit of a project, but I guarantee it's a whole lot less of a project than starting with nothing, which is what I don't remember what we started with. I mean, we're around here, I'm looking at shapes all the time, and if I build something, I'll look for a shape that we already have and just start building a plug. It is not at all practical, unless it's just something you want to do, is to have fun doing it, to build a plug and a mold for a one-off. It's something we don't, at this point, we don't even do anymore for any money, really. It doesn't matter if we get paid a bunch for it, it's kind of a waste of time. But there's a lot of times, if you all have an idea and something you think we should do on a car, and we look at it and go, well, that's a great idea, we can make yours as the first one, do a plug and a prototype and build a mold and build a part out of that. We could sell that for the price of a part and then market it in the future, but to do just one-offs, it's just not the business we're in anymore. It used to be I'd like to do things just to see if I could. Anymore, we do things just to be practical and run it through the shop. So that's that. Is that a good enough explanation on that answer most of the questions people ask?
Yeah, I'd measure the width. Kind of
Okay,
where
so here's how wise. We haven't used a tape measure yet, have we? So I'm pretty close. Let me get my glasses.
here, let's just use this right here on the one on the car, and we
So
can
we're
measure.
44. So across the front,
That way I can hold it.
I'm 44 inches, 43 and a half across the front. And this is an extended tee. So from the front to the back tip here, I'm about 50 and a half inches. This is about at the tallest point, it's about 30 inches tall. My window opening here, we're about 34 inches. The back, across the back, yeah. Now this would be a measurement that would be kind of critical to you. The width of the body is, it's basically 46. So it's 46 wide. And again, you can lengthen it or shorten it by just using this piece of wood here. We use aluminum for, we use a piece of frame around the glass, and it's into that frame. I would definitely, and you can get these one piece and two piece. Here, I can lift this up here, you can see it just drops right into that. Always, 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 if you're using a 20-inch windshield, you want to have braces for your windshield. That's just a lot of wind resistance going down the road at 60, 70 miles an hour, pushing against these windshield posts. So if you got a brace on there, you're pretty good to go. And that should take care of any questions you might have about the top. I have a question for you. My books, where's my books? I am curious. I won't even ask if you like the Trump tweets or not, so we won't even go there. I've been doing these. Friend of mine, Ernie, Hot Rod Man, wrote these two books, Pass It On and Coffee Break Contemplations. Now, while you're watching this video, first off, if you're watching this video live, and we're live right now, while you're watching it, there should be a button somewhere on the page, on your Facebook page, where you can hit it and be notified when we go live. So if you want to get notified when we go live, we try to do every day, 11:05. We don't necessarily hit every day, and who knows, maybe we'll start doing some other, summertime comes, we may be doing some shows or other things. But if you want to be notified, you got to hit that button while we're live. A lot of people hit like, and it's got a thumb. Doesn't think it's got a thumb goes up.
Yep.
But that's our we're hot rod guys, and we're pretty macho. We're not big on the heart thing. I guess that means I love it. Oh, I love it.
Yep.
It's awesome. So since not too many people, can you do faces too?
Yeah.
Is it easy?
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yep.
Okay. And surely there's a smiley face and surely there's a frowning face?
Yeah, there's all sorts of faces.
Okay. Here's my question. And we'll use the smiley face, frowny face, if there's such a thing. Do you like, when I read the Pass It On or Coffee Break Contemplations, or do you think it's a waste of the time on the video? You'd rather just hear about the cars? So let us know. You can do that with a smiley face, or you can give me a face with a tongue sticking out, or something that's like, I don't know, they probably got an angry face, or who knows what kind of faces. But for today, you're going to get one whether you like it or not. And we're going to go with Coffee Break Contemplations. Just because it has been called human nature doesn't mean we do not have the power to change. That's a good one. Elizabeth, if you're watching, you watch sometimes. We may talk about this tonight. We have a teenage girl again. It wasn't on my bucket list, but we are blessed to have young lady Elizabeth. And this is a good one. I'm going to take this one home. So I'm going to read it again. Just because, I'm going to have to read it, not remember it. Just because it has been called human nature doesn't mean we do not have the power to change. So make your decisions, because we're going to live with them. I hope you decide to have fun building your hot rod, and the Spirit car is a good way to start. So thanks for being with us today. Hopefully this answered some questions on the top. We'll be back tomorrow at 11:05, and I'm not sure what we'll do, but we'll do something.